Hello, cousins. Welcome back to Relaxing with Allie. 3:08 p.m. Alright, so we got strength in reverse. So, you're not feeling so strong. Why? But understanding also wanted to pop out in reverse with self-worth. I feel like you have a very, very, very inaccurate view of yourself, man. You have a very bad understanding of something. I feel like by the time we get done with this video, you're going to have a very clear understanding. But I feel like right now, you do not understand something very well. And it's fucking with your confidence because you got strength well in reverse. Yeah, listening. You got self-worth and you got movement. It's almost like you just like you feel like something's not going to be successful because you're being told. I'm not even sure what the fuck. Like, you got strength in reverse. So this is your confidence is in reverse. Your confidence is depleted. Like, you just feel weak, or I mean, you just feel weak or something. I'm not sure. But then I don't know. It's like then you're listening to something that motivates you, or you're listening to advice, or you're listening to something, but you're still not. Yeah, I feel like you feel weak or something. Like you don't have solid ground to stand on, but you do. Yeah, self-worth. Yeah, hope. Yeah, you are having confidence issues. Yeah, belonging. You're having a hard time with getting your footing, huh? You feel weak where you definitely should not feel weak. That's affecting it looks to be decision making. Yeah, belonging and denial. You are in denial about the foundation of something. You got a lot more solid ground. Yeah, the moon. You have a lot more solid ground, but for whatever reason, you just feel like it's not there. The moon, you feel like something's missing, but yeah, what's missing is you're not actually showing up like you're supposed to. Yeah, chaos. You got success and honesty right here at the bottom with rigid right up under that. So it's like you want to avoid chaos, or you want to avoid whatever the fuck this storm could be. Like that's chaos. That's a bunch of bullshit. You want to avoid that and still get successful results, but at the same time you just feel weak. You feel hopeful but weak. You shouldn't feel weak though. Normally you don't, but I'm trying to figure out why you do. I feel like you got a weird tie or something with what. Yeah, cycles. Because that's what I'm saying. You got a weird tie or something to this type of energy because you do this a lot. Like you're a fucking monstrosity, but you just feel so tiny. It's like visually you're huge as fuck. That's because you are huge. You're fucking gigantic, but then you just internally feel so small. This is like on the King of Queens. So Doug, Carrie, and Arthur. So Carrie and Arthur was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Doug was like, I can't take this shit no more. We got to do something about this. So she was like, well, fuck it, let's go ahead and just take him to therapy and let's see, what they say about it. So they took Arthur to therapy and they found out like, well, to make him happy, y'all just got to do what he want. But then that was like stressful on Carrie and Doug. So then Carrie was like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna go to therapy. So, and Arthur was like, I'm not happy, like, just being validated all the time. I'm not happy. So, Carrie was like, well, fuck it. I'll go to therapy. Now, what was it? Doug and Arthur was happy, but Carrie was miserable or something like that. I forgot how it was, but I know when Doug went, it was it was because he was like, well, like, shit, they just gonna argue. I'ma just come to therapy. He was like, all right, well, fuck it, I'll just write you the prescription. The thing is, and Doug, when Doug did his little roundabout as to why it is, he was like, oh, I do have anger. I just, don't like to take it out on others. I think that's what your problem is, but that's starting to it's throwing you off on somewhere, because with this strength and reverse, for some reason you feel super weak where you really should not. It's like you like to avoid conflict or something like that. So that's what you're trying to do. But that's causing a bit of a kerfuffle some fucking where. Yeah, complicated and fulfillment with summon. You feel like it's just, I'm not sure. It's like you feel like if you go for what you want, it's gonna be a whole bunch of bullshit that come with it or something. So you just want to avoid that. So instead, you would just rather just suffer. That's crazy as fuck. Yeah, growth. That doesn't make any sense. So you need to break that cycle. Easier said than done. But honesty and high priestess of desire right at the bottom. You need to break that cycle. Yeah, high priestess of fire. You need to break that cycle. It's like you need to stand up for yourself, or you need to like really plant your feet in the ground because you feel unsturdy. You need to plant your feet. You having a very hard time doing that. Yeah, risk. You having a hard time doing that. It's like you really it's like you're suffering, but instead of you just, reminder, don't forget. This is unnecessary. But to you, it's like you're thinking it's so profound to the point you feel like it's gonna bring in some bullshit, but message. Yeah, and then you got oath, the fielding differences and fulfillment with high priestess of earth. The best thing here is if you want something, you need to go for it, because again, you feel weak or you feel like you're suffering or some shit like that when you really don't have to, but you just don't want to bring in like some bullshit. Yeah, the high priestess of earth and growth, so you just want everything to be like calm, copacetic, and just on some chill shit, but at the same time you freaking out thinking that this chaos, this storm is coming behind it too. 818. Yeah, deceit and conclusion. I feel like you may be overthinking this. That's what I mean when I say you're taking this thought and you're thinking it so profound. I think you're definitely overthinking. Then you got a summon and reminder. Yeah, you want something, you gotta go get it. There's no other way around it. You can't. You cannot worry about shit. You can't stress about things that you can't. Don't stress about things you can't control. Don't stress about things you can't fix. But you need to it's like you're taking that and you're blowing this shit overboard. It's like, oh my god, I don't. But what happens if it's like you naturally automatically go to the most negative thought that you can, and at this point, I'm not sure at what stage you were doing that at, because that doesn't necessarily seem survival mode, but it don't seem normal mode either. Like, it don't seem classic mode. You know what I mean? So it seems kind of weird. It seems kind of weird, like you just started picking this up, or you like, you know how when you have a habit and then you just start doing it aggressively, like maybe you bite your nails here and there, and then you just like really start gnawing down on your damn fingers. It's, I don't know, it's like you've taken something and you've blown it out of proportion, because this shit is not actually, it just seems like it's not real. Like, this, whatever you're thinking is not, it's not that it's not real, but it's not it's not real. I feel like maybe anxiety or something has gotten the best of you. Yeah, invisible and understanding. I think that anxiety or something like that has gotten the best of you. I really do. Yeah, honesty and complicated with playful, because you are like really freaking out behind whatever this is, to the point where you just feel weak and you feel like you're suffering, but it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be that though. But it's like you feel like it does or something. I'm not totally sure what the hell. Yeah, you got choices, and then you got beauty, and you got cycles. So I feel like this is same shit, different day. I feel like you've dealt with this like over and over and over throughout life, and I think it's the same energy that keeps replaying, but you haven't actually learned to deal with it yet. Something stops you, like right when you just like, you know what, right when you should feel most confident, you just don't. And it's always like with the weirdest of things. That's something that you need to address now, because coming up in these next phases, you're gonna have to be real sturdy about just you. You're gonna have to, you need to learn you. Because you're having a very hard time with just cycles and choices. The reason that the same type of, it's like you've been in the position before, or you've been like, you recognize the energy or something like that. Like, it could be the same energy, different situation, different person, different place, different thing, whatever it is, but you keep dealing with it because you haven't dealt with it. Like, it's like you just make choices, like temporary choices to lead you out, and then you got to deal with this, and then like it's like a problem prolongs itself constantly when all you got to do is just kind of like make a decision. Yeah, loyalty. I think you're too loyal. I'm not sure how, but I just feel like you're too loyal to some, because you're suffering and you don't have to, or you have a pride problem and you shouldn't. And whatever it is, you're loyal to that, because yeah, the feeling, because you're always feeling trapped, and that's why. It's like you don't ask for help or something. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Trapped in honesty with deceit. I think you simply need to ask for help, and you fucking don't. Deceit in conclusion with love. This is assuming that somebody is supposed to understand what the fuck your problem is, or what your struggle is, or whatever it is you need. Whatever with this strength in reverse is trying to figure out. This is assuming that people are going to play charades, and they don't. Or this is assuming that somebody else assumes that, you know what I'm saying, that they understand whatever you got going on. No, this is a clear reminder. If you want something with this summon, you have to ask for that shit. People are not mind readers, and regardless of what this is, like, bro, people are not mind readers. I think that's the problem. I think you're assuming, or that may be the issue, like around you or something, but you're falling victim to it because you're doing it too, or you're the one doing it. I'm not sure, but with this honesty and trap, yeah, you're assuming that somebody else is supposed to understand like your point or whatever the fuck. Like, no. If you want something, you can easily be like left off the priority list if whatever you hey, closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't want something bad enough, you was not gonna ask for it. If you want something bad enough, you will. But you need to understand that just because you feel something or just because you want something, that does not mean somebody else understands or that they're even bothered to pick up the cues on what that is. So again, go about it the best way, which is just straight up and be honest. Don't, because with this deceit, that is the reason that you feel like, I don't know, it's like you just feel like you can't do something, or you feel like it's gonna be a bunch of bullshit. But in reality, I think you've overthought the entire situation. I think you've thought so far in advance of the situation, you just immediately went to worst case scenario. You went from the start of this is the problem before you even give anybody else the opportunity to engage in the conversation to state their side. You just assume that you know exactly what the fuck's gonna happen, or the worst case scenario. Then you just go with that, and then before you know it, it's just fucking, I'm not even gonna do it. That's what you're doing. You've overthought something so far in advance that you've come up to your own conclusion. And I think you need to like put that thing all the way in reverse. Yo, if it's worth it, yo, put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. I think you need to put it all the way in reverse. You need to stop at the very, 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 get the thought, act whatever the thought, execute whatever the thought, like do whatever it is that you need to with the thought, and then go from there. I don't think you need to try to figure out and guess what's coming up, because you don't know. There's very unpredictable variants that will always come into play. That's why tarot is never going to be an exact science. It's predictable, but you are very unpredictable. Just because I see you doing something doesn't mean you're going to do that. You could see it and be like, you know what, one day maybe you just feel obligated to do the exact opposite. I'm gonna sit outside today. You know what, fuck that, I'm about to sit inside today. I'm about to just sit on this side of the house today. On the inside though. Yeah, don't think so far into advance that you assume that you know what somebody else is thinking, because you may not know what they're thinking. From the looks of this, you may have whatever the entire situation is. I think you've overthought the situation so far that you've come up with a conclusion that's not the result. Like, that's not what's gonna go down. So I think you just need to slow down and just relax for a second. I'll be right back.